Hey everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of the Irish Wrestling Podcast. I know it's been a while since we've been on, but we've been up to a lot of things behind the scenes. If you noticed, we have a new website you can also check out. We're posting results and reviews of all the Irish shows along with other stuff and the rest of the world. Loads of news coming in the Irish wrestling scene. So we just want to welcome back to the show. It's been a while since we had them on. Foxy and Colin, how are they getting on, lads? How are things?
Good,
Doing all
been
right.
very
Doing
busy.
all right. Yep.
Everybody's very busy. It's
Yeah.
Summertime.
It is. It's very
Actually,
busy.
June is actually sweet though. June is nice because there's not much on show wise. So it's
Yeah.
like a little
Yeah.
it's like there's a little mini break now
It
until
is.
July.
It's kind of like we can regroup in June because we can catch up on everything that's happened and everything
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
due to come. But
I think there's a few promotions cottoning on as well, isn't there? Like that, like June is a tough month. June is certainly
yeah,
even starts on. A lot of
mm,
people tend to
Mhm.
start to look at holidays and stuff,
yeah,
and it's usually a hard setter. It's usually when the weather picks up.
It's
yeah.
So
when
even
schools are starting to like finish up for the year.
yeah, yeah. So
So
I think promotions are starting to kind of cotton on to the fact that like maybe June's not a good month and hold off until they're in the flow of the summer of July and August
Yeah.
before they hit again. Like
And buildings without air conditioning are a lot warmer in June as well. So a lot more deodorant would need to be bought.
stop. Stop.
The Fight Factory. As much as I love it, holy Jesus, it's so warm in the summer.
Remember last year for the heat wave?
Yes,
My
I do.
God. It
That
was
was
Got
the
the
summer
fan,
only
got
part
fans to that show.
it was the only show that I wore shorts. Like
But
and
you're allowed to wear shorts now, aren't you?
this was said jokingly. Like so I had said it's like any chance I can wear shorts like for this because it's the summer show. It makes sense. Like I mean if AEW are doing it, why can't we? Like if you know, you fucking know. But but they said yeah. But then later on, come to find out, it's like, yeah, Kate never enforced any like specific like attire that had to be worn, which maybe that's me problem, but still,
Really hot black cotton pants.
I like to look a little bit professional amongst all the ridiculousness that's there. So, but yeah, I've just kind of kept like to my usual stuff. Uh, and
But
plus, I
fight.
regretted the first match in. I went to go for a count and I burnt my knee. I was like, nope,
Oh.
nope. Now remember why I wear pants.
You wearing shorts on the last Fight Factor show?
No,
No.
no, no. I just I stick to my normal attire. So still
Well,
sweating like crazy.
July might be a different story though.
yeah. For
Yeah.
everybody who didn't catch it, we did write a review and reports on the last Fight Factor show, which was Jay Money's Magical Mystery Show. Colin, Foxy, I know you were behind the scenes, but for fans who were arriving at the show, they had to go through a mystery portal. Is that what they called it? A mystery tunnel
Yeah,
portal to get into
yeah,
the show. How was it getting into that thing, first of all? Because I know some people, might have been easier for them just to climb in. I'm sure some
yeah.
people
Like
struggle to get in and out.
I'm just shy of 6'4", so it wasn't too much of a bother for me. But my girlfriend is like 5'4". So she needed a hand up and down, and then yeah, I heard there was a few struggles then from other people. I don't know how a friend of our show, Robbie Harmon, got on. Although I would have loved to see that.
Robbie was involved in that
Uh
show anyway.
just I seen the clip that
Yeah,
Cardona put up, and I was like, that's brilliant,
Brilliant.
yeah,
absolutely
they have a
brilliant.
great little feud there. It was the same when Cardona was over here. Like they've had that feud going on now a few years, so. It's
Hmm.
great that Rob gets that recognition everywhere he goes. And funny story for people who didn't see, I'll try to get this in as quick as possible. Rob went to the Extreme Wrestling Hall of Fame induction of Abdullah the Butcher
Hmm.
the day before the show, I think it was. And for anyone who doesn't follow Rob on social media, Abdullah the Butcher actually thought that Rob was Hornswoggle, and during his speech, started talking about Rob of how good a wrestler he was for like 5 minutes. And was putting him over for like 5 minutes, and Rob just sat there and took it. Anyway,
Yes.
Rob was leaving the show, and Abdullah the Butcher passes him and asks him, can he get a picture with him, still thinking that he's Hornswoggle. So if anyone, Gary, I'll send you the picture and see can you get it in here, like,
Yeah.
and get it.
Mm-hmm.
But the like Abdullah the Butcher actually thought he was Hornswoggle, and Rob, I don't think had the heart to tell him otherwise.
No.
I'm
No,
still waiting to
no.
catch up with Rob. I think he's only back. But I'm waiting to catch up with him to see actually what happened there. But yeah, great little story to have there.
Brilliant. That's unbelievable. And he's been involved, like we had Rob on before, like, and talked about all the things he's been involved with in wrestling. For
Mm.
somebody who's never, not a trained wrestler, he's been involved in a lot of wrestling angles in his life. And he's not probably not done yet. It's probably after that, it's probably only started. They'll probably get people reaching out to him looking for him to come on to do stuff.
Yeah, did he die in one of the promos? Did
Yes.
Angel Cruz kill him in one of the
Yeah.
promos as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he's been he's been around he's been around a few promos and stuff and they're usually very funny, and like that's one of the things that I love about Rob. He's able to laugh at himself and have a joke as well,
Yeah.
and he doesn't take himself too seriously, which is one of his best attributes. And yeah, he's such a lovely guy as well.
Yeah.
And we have to get Rob back on again soon.
Oh, 100%. If I'd have known he was back home, I would have tried to get him on around the record so he could tell us what actually happened. But hopefully we'll get him on sooner so he can tell us exactly what went down
Yeah.
when the cameras weren't rolling. You God knows what he got up to. So like we said, the last Fight Factory show, how was it overall, Colin? As a show.
Yeah, show it was. Yeah, like again, there's never. I can't remember there ever being a bad Fight Factory show. I think I've said that over and over and over again. But there has been shows that weren't as good as other shows, obviously. And this one was definitely back to the top of the game. I think the surprise aspect and having nothing announced definitely added to it. I love that type of stuff in wrestling. I love not knowing some things. Like if I could go to a show and have nothing announced on a card, I would. I do understand that announcing stuff sells tickets though. So there is like that balancing act. But yeah, not knowing you arrive at the venue and there's a mystery portal. It was let's face it, was a high ice fan with a bit of tinfoil around it. But yeah, you go through the back of the van and out the side door, but in the van was a very familiar wizard, mage, whatever you want to call him, welcoming us to the show, which was pretty weird.
Foxy, were you involved in creating that portal, or
No.
do you know whose idea it was? Like somebody sat there and said, what's a good idea?
No. I wasn't at all. Like I had just as much idea as everyone else, literally until I arrived at the venue. So that was when I found out about what was going on. But other than that, it was a complete mystery to everyone involved.
Brilliant.
Like, so yay. Which is good. Like it's a good like thing for like what Colin said. It's just it adds a bit of intrigue into a show because it is a mystery of who could be there, what could be happening. Like you never know what could be done. I mean, like Fight Factory has shown that as well. The less that they tend to say to you, they will make up for it by showing you. And this was no different. And especially if Jay Money is involved, like very, very creative person when it comes to putting a show together. Especially ones that are more concept driven than practical. It's like, how do I figure this out? Well, we'll see how it goes. But no, enjoyable.
You mentioned about a few surprises. We'll get into one of the big ones, but before we do, well, he's probably just as big a surprise was the debut for Mark Andrews?
Yes.
It was a Fight Factory debut for
It
Mark
was,
Andrews.
Which was a huge surprise. Having
Jesus,
somebody like that on the show.
I absolutely popped. I did hear. I don't know how much public knowledge this is, and I don't know if I should really be saying it, but I did hear that he was booked last year and something happened so that he couldn't actually make it. I can't remember the actual ins and outs of that, but as far as I know, he was due to be on a show last year, and I'm not sure if it was a cancelled show or an injury or something like that, but He was meant to be on the show last year, and I do know that Mark is very friendly with a few of the lads in Fife. Actually, Mark's very friendly with a lot of Irish lads as well. Like even like looking at Logan Bryce, Kev Dunphy went over and helped them with attack when that was getting up off the ground and stuff. So Mark very much has his roots here in Ireland, you know. So I think it was only a matter of time before we actually did see him pop up in Fight Factory. But yeah, they brought out the again, I don't know what it was, a mystery door that randomly came up and ended up beside me, and I was like, okay, what the fuck is this? And then it was like, who's this? Who's the opponent gonna be? Martin Stairs. Martin said that he wanted a challenge, whatever. And then, yeah, did not expect Mark Andrews to walk out through the door. Really didn't. So yeah, I popped, massive, and yeah, I love those moments. I love when you get me. You know, it adds to everything. With great seeing them, and Jesus, what a match they put on as well. Like,
Yeah.
hell of a match. Like what they did in that 10, 15 minutes, geez, I can only imagine like what another 10 minutes would have done, you know. So I want to see it again. And I want to see them go longer
The show was
because
recorded, wasn't it?
yeah, there was
Yeah.
people around recording the show. Yeah, as far as I know, they record all their shows now, whether they use it for training material or they release whole shows or they might release matches. But I really hope that they do release this match. And
Yeah.
anyway, there was two really, really good matches on the card. Again, there was no bad matches, but there was two really, really high caliber matches. That was one, and the other was the main event.
Yeah.
LJ, Fabio, and CBL.
Yeah.
A surprise return from CBL as
Surprise.
well.
And a
But I
surprise
think,
from LJ, right? Because
yeah, they
early,
kind of swerved us a bit. So we were told at the top of the night that like we didn't know what was happening with the Irish Junior Heavyweight Championship, and by the end of the night we'd find out. And then the match, we were into the main event, and we were here to crown the champion. So Fabio came out, and then yeah, surprise LJ came out. And then it looked as if we were getting a one-on-one match to crown a new champion, and then CBL's music hits, and he's like, "I'm not fucking dead yet," kind of thing, you know. So, they won't be crowning a new champion if someone's winning it. They're gonna have to beat me for it, you know. So, yeah, geez, the three lads absolutely killed it though. They absolutely killed it. There's two. Those two are absolutely match of the year candidates already, in
yeah.
my opinion. Yeah, they should both definitely be up there. So yeah, like overall, absolutely great show. And then we have the variety, the comedy. We had the Scooby-Doo act, Mystery Machine with Gene Money as Scooby-Doo, and it's just it's a great variety show. It's not all serious wrestling. There is fun to be had. There is lightheartedness. They moved the ring as well, which I think was a great aspect. I don't know about you being in there, Foxy, but I know that the ring was moved out from the back wall, so you can actually stand on both sides of the ring now, and
Yeah.
then there's a couple of seats on one side. So we actually have three sides to the ring now, rather than what used to be two sides, but one side was only like one row of seats. So
Yeah.
essentially you were playing to one side of the
Yeah.
audience.
Yeah.
Now you're playing to both. So I think it just makes I don't know, it just makes it a little bit more lively that you have
Yeah. The
stuff
atmosphere and the
around the
sound will
ring.
travel a
Yeah,
bit
yeah,
better. Yeah.
yeah. That's not all one-sided. Like, but yeah, overall great show. Really looking forward to the next one. The we have that stipulation, Team Fabio, Team LJ, best of five series. Winning team will get their team captain a championship match. So yeah, that's
Correct me if I'm wrong.
exciting.
Is LJ advertised for the show, or is he just a team captain? People are going to be fighting on his behalf.
I think it's both, and that's
Yeah.
just my guess from what I've seen. But it looks as if he will be one of the five matches.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it is a case like the show will fall just when he's after getting back, I
Mhm.
think. So I think that's why this was a bigger deal.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like if you look at the poster, like if you know your history of like video games, like you
Yeah.
know exactly what they're referencing.
Yeah.
So, but
It'll be a big deal if he does come though, right?
Yeah, like regardless, like
course,
it's
yeah.
still a big deal anyway because those two don't have bad matches.
Mm-hmm.
Like regardless, so regardless, you have a tree to look forward to already, and that's where any other match has been announced or hinted at. So, yeah,
Yeah.
it should be fun.
But
Yeah.
we do have Fabio naming the matches, and Fabio, in his infinite wisdom, decided that when he said name the matches, everyone thought that it meant that he's going to be able to name like the stipulations and the match types, but Fabio just wants to give them names, like actual names. Fucking pleb, like. But,
Has he got a name for one yet?
he put the first one out, yeah. The In a While match. And that's the one that it looks like LJ is advertised for because it looks like. I'm sorry, I'm literally have to pull it up on my phone. It looks like it's a 3-on-3 match. So it actually has LJ and question mark, and then on the other side it has Fabio and question mark and question mark. So it looks like it might be a 3-on-3 tag in that match. And
In a while.
that's advertised as the main event. So
It's been a while, or is it in a while?
no, in a while.
In a
Of
while.
course.
In a while.
Of course, as long as somebody doesn't come out dressed like a crocodile.
Jesus, don't be giving them fucking ideas. Fucking
Crocodile Dundee.
bad enough that we got a bear. We do not need someone dressed up as a crocodile.
We're slowly building up the mascots. That's what we're doing.
There was a mascot. What was the mascot under the ring at the Magic part of the show where popped up the blue-headed thing, whatever it was?
Oh, the Muppet.
The Muppet thing. What the hell was that?
That's J Mini. It's a minier version of J Money.
My God. Epic.
I love it.
I think they debuted that in one of their OTT promos, didn't they, recently?
Oh, really?
That they got a record contract and
I
Jay
saw
Mini
that.
is the record producer or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's my record?
Yeah. There's some crazy shit going on. That was like, I don't know how those lads think of half of the shit, like.
Mental. While we're on the subject, we're talking about LJ there. You know, we have to talk about the announcement that happened this week. Well, yesterday, as this recording, LJ is making his New Japan debut this Sunday at the Minion, in Osaka, teaming up with the War Dogs.
Yeah.
How huge is this for LJ and for Irish wrestling? Like, to have somebody back in New Japan. It's been what, 2016 since, was it 2016, 15 when Balor left New Japan?
14.
Was it 14? It was 14 years, yeah, that's right.
I'm trying to think when the documentary was.
Yeah, because
it was 2014.
I remember because like 2014 they snatched up him, Kevin Steen, and
Kenta, wasn't it?
It was Kenta as well. And there was someone else as well. There was a strange cousin who's masked. But yeah, like it was 2014. That was his last match in New Japan. And yeah, which is madness. Like to think 10 years later.
10 years. We're finally getting an Irish wrestler in New Japan.
Now, technically, like it's not been 10 years because let's not forget Dave Finlay is still technically he's Northern Irish. Like, but still Irish.
Yeah.
German, German, Northern Irish, American, something.
But yes, a fully like Irish related wrestler is appearing in New Japan, and that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Like it's a massive feather in the cap for LJ. Without a doubt. I mean, like it was big enough, like being that got signed to Noah.
Yeah.
But now, while under Noah's contract, is also going to be competing for New Japan Pro Wrestling, and he gets to mix it up with some of their best talents as well. Like so,
Zack Sabre Jr. I know they've been on shows together before, but they haven't had a match together, right? They've never been.
Not that I'm aware of, anyway. unless there was some random like spot show in the UK. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't think of them being together as well.
But
Uh, do
even without
you,
that,
do you know what the deal with Noah and New Japan is, or why they're working together? And they're, historically, New Japan are very reluctant to work with other Japanese promotions, right?
They've worked together now for a couple of years. I know that they did their big thing
Mm.
there. Was it 2 years ago? They did their Wrestle Kingdom. They added the extra date onto the Wrestle Kingdom show, and then
yeah.
they did the brand versus brand
Okay,
show
yeah,
as the third day to that. So yeah, they have a good relationship with Noah, and it seemed to be there now the last few years.
I think it was
And yeah,
because like Keiji Muto was retiring,
mhm.
and he had had a big part in both companies.
hmm
Yeah, yeah,
So they wanted to make sure that they capitalize on said said retirement tour.
yeah.
So I think that's why Noah was added to like Wrestle Kingdom. It worked out really well, having the mix up of a new influx of fresh matches for New Japan. And it also gives Pro Wrestling Noah another spotlight on them, like another audience to start
yeah.
like
Yeah.
broadcasting to. Um, uh, they've like I think that they've just continued like building upon this relationship like slowly but surely,
Mm.
and I find that as a really good thing, like just in general.
It's
From what I've
huge.
heard as well with the Japanese fans, now again, I'm not there, so I don't know, so it's all hearsay. But I heard that it can get a bit tribal between fans of promotions. So like a lot of fans would only watch one brand. And
That's worldwide. That's not like just Japan.
yeah, like yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's true. Like you do have it with AEW, WWE as well, TNA, even over here to an extent.
Yes.
But
hmm
yeah, so like even by I think by working together, I think is a no-brainer because then like you
Hmm.
do have those fans that might only watch one or the other, and then you're bringing those two together, and you should both be boosted by it, you know. So, it definitely seems like a no-brainer. And anyway, but we do also have there's a Toya now with the Foy in the US with Noah, and with Progress in the UK with Noah.
hmm
So there's a lot of doors and barriers
Yeah.
barriers being breaking down and doors opening, you know,
Yeah.
for these companies. And I think it's only going to lead to bigger and better things, having the barriers kind of come down a bit and
Hmm.
having these crossover shows. And my only hope is that maybe one of the promotions over here kind of does something similar. If not all the promotions, I don't see why they wouldn't.
Why
Like,
not?
So
let's
yeah.
not forget that Noah also has new ties now to
hmm
WWE,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
not just because of the same TV company, but
Hmm.
they're starting to collab as well. Where I mean, they had Shinsuke Nakamura face Muta in his
Yeah,
last
yeah,
set of matches,
yeah.
and I mean, like, uh, if that's not a great indication of like, if I'm working for Noah, maybe I can get picked up by WWE. Like,
Yeah.
there you go. There's another doorway there. But I do agree, like, with what you say. Like, yeah, I wish like the promotions over here like work together more.
Hmm.
Like that was the original intention for OTT, to have the best in the country
Hmm.
under one banner, and it worked for a time, and then after a while, it just yeah. I want to make my own piece of pie
Yeah,
and
yeah.
have it. So yeah, uh, that's all I'll say on that one.
hmm
I'm about to poke the hornet's nest and like, yeah, do I want to do that? No, not ready. But
There is probably another match there. I think it's next weekend. Not this weekend, coming the following weekend. LJ has a match with Super Crazy, which I'm sure is
Really? Is he still going?
yeah, which I'm
mm-hmm.
sure is definitely one of those bucket list type matches, like you know, where yeah, I think it's a three-way Ninja Mac, LJ, and Super
Oh,
Crazy. So yeah, I don't know. Listen, I don't know if Super Crazy can still go and what he can do. But
can still do a bit.
if you can do half the stuff that he was able to do, then like I think we're in for a hell of a match. But yeah, I'll definitely be checking that one out next week to see what kind of antics got up to in
Mhm.
that match, because that could be a bit wild.
Dominion's going to be a hell of a show as well. Like besides, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh yeah, I'll watch all the New Japan shows and stay up to the middle of the night or get up at 6 o'clock in the morning just to sit and
Super
watch
o'clock in
them.
the
Like,
morning,
but
yeah.
you know, I I don't know, like regardless of what happens, and LJ, teaming with the War Dogs first of all, like the amount of you know American eyes are going to be on that match specifically because of
Hmm.
who's in the match. You
Yeah,
know, it can only be a massive thing for LJ, like that if he can have a standout moment in that match where he's the
Yeah.
one that shines
yeah.
amongst the rest of them, like that people are there. Who is this kid, and
Mm.
where did he come from, and why is he with the War Dogs, and where's the rest of the Bullet Club, and who knows what'll happen with LJ in the future? Like, will he get picked up by now, or will somebody see him and say, "Oh yeah, we've heard about him. Let's just try and book him for shows in America." I'm not sure if he's got how the visa for Japan between America works, if he's allowed to work in America. I think he has a year visa after the WrestleMania weekend. And I think about it.
Now we're going on tour. I know they're coming over here. I don't
Hmm.
know if they're going to be doing an American leg of that tour, but they are doing a European leg of the tour.
Mm.
Yeah.
The back end of the summer. So like they'll be over in Europe. And I'm presuming he will be on that.
That'd be in
Um,
September, that is, as
I
far
think
as
it's
I recall.
September. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's then plans for an American side of that tour then as well, So, but yeah, I'm presuming with him being contracted to Noah that like if there is anything visa wise that they'd sort that out. And as far as I know with the visas, they usually pick them up for a year, so that they can use them for the
Mm.
year. So if anything does crop up, um, I don't know if LJ has a visa from being in America at Mania. He might have a visa
I think
there
that they
that's
all got a
still
year
active.
long
So
visa. Yeah.
yeah, there might be something there as well. But like it's unfortunate that some people, and I know I've been guilty of it myself, saying that like, oh, LJ should be picked up somewhere or whatever. Like, I think we kind of forget or this maybe dismiss now a little bit that of like the company that they are, and like he is a contracted signed wrestler too now. Like, obviously the hope would be like he doesn't stay there and he ends up going somewhere bigger. And if that's New Japan or WWE or AEW or wherever else, but like I think a lot of people kind of dismiss that he is already a contracted wrestler. And
Hmm.
thing is, I don't know how long that contract is. I don't know if there's an out of that contract. He might be tied into now for another year, for all we
Hmm.
know. So, and I've just heard a few people saying, "Oh, hopefully he gets picked up, or he'll be somewhere by the end of the year or something." He
At,
might
at
not be
the
able to be
at
somewhere
the
else
end
by
of
the
the
end of the year.
day, that's his full-time job. Like he's a
Yeah,
professional wrestler. Like he's not a
yeah.
wrestler
Yep.
who who's working in McDonald's or
Hmm.
has a full-time job and they wrestle at the weekends. Like this is his job.
Yeah.
So this is his life, his
Hmm.
beautiful life as he likes to call it. Like so, we say this in every episode. I know it's been a while since we had an episode, like, but get out and see LJ while you can.
I think we are
It,
Hmm.
kind of getting to the stage
hmm
of this year
Yep.
is probably the last opportunity you
Yeah.
are going to get, because he does have a few dates coming up. I know
hmm
he's in Hard Knocks, he's in Fight Factory, he is
He's
in
in OTT.
OTT. I haven't heard anything from NLW or RCW about him doing any dates there, but he is in the other three. So potentially we're getting the last chance saloon with
hmm
LJ.
Hmm.
So my advice would be, if you want to see him, if you haven't seen him, if you have seen him and you're a fan of his and you want to see him once more, now is the time to do it, because I think we're getting to that stage where he may get tied into an exclusive deal and he
Hmm.
may not be able to come back.
Yeah.
So
At the very least, we have August.
Yeah.
yes.
August is his last announced dates
Sorry,
here.
September 1st, Hard Knocks is,
Oh, sorry.
yeah,
No,
is another one that was announced.
but
Myself and Sammy in a ladder match. So I think that's his latest one.
And
well,
probably
that'd be
his
your
last.
last chance to see him in Limerick for Hard Knocks. But like in terms of like Dublin and anywhere else, it'll be August with
Mhm.
like what is it? Like no, not Ram.
Scrapper.
Scrapper, Shane and
Yeah.
Mac. Like they're so close together. I'm like, what? Which one?
Well,
Um,
what a way for him to go. If that is, I'm not sure
that's a
if
big match for him to
I'm
go
not sure
out.
if he's booked for Belfast, and he probably is. Like, but for Scrapper itself, for him and Nic Nemeth is going to be, one of those. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
when you saw LJ and Nic Nemeth. You're looking back this time next year, like, oh, I wish I had went to that, or
Yeah.
should have paid more attention. Like, so
Like,
get it.
Yeah.
it's only a matter of time. It really is.
He is definitely one of them that, and I know that we've been saying it for a long time. Like LJ is one of those guys that we're going to be sitting here in 10 years and that fucker's going to be on WrestleMania, or he's going to be on Double or Nothing, or a big pay-per-view winning a big belt. And we're going to be saying, like, we saw him when, he is that wrestler.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I know that we're fucking beating the drum here and we're repeating ourselves, but like, yeah, get out and see him while you can, because like you will be looking at him on a massive stage in the next few years. Like,
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, we mentioned OTT there regarding. We're not going to get into it. We spoke about it before recording regarding WrestleRama during
hmm
the Comic-Con in Northern Ireland. They've announced that it's not going ahead, right? The match for Demo and Renzo was going ahead at the
at
Royal
Aftermath, yeah,
Aftermath
it's
in
after being
Belfast.
moved to the Sunday, the Scrappermania Sunday,
Hmm.
called Aftermath in Belfast. That match has been moved.
They
They,
they mentioned, like, there was they mentioned that they're still going to be at Comic-Con. Are they
Yes.
still? Is there still
yeah,
going to be
so
something there?
they will still
Yeah.
be at Comic-Con during the day with a ring in the venue
Okay.
and matches in the ring,
Yeah,
which
as
was
they
the plan,
normally.
which was the
Yeah.
plan originally, and then they
Hmm.
were meant to do the show afterwards as well, which was a separate ticketed event.
Hmm.
So the event, the WrestleRama event, which is after Comic-Con, has been cancelled. Their presence at Comic-Con will still be there,
Hmm.
and still go and see OTT at Comic-Con. It will be non-canon, as is
Yeah.
usual. And I'm not sure, Foxy, do they usually have a table there with merch and stuff as
Yes.
well? Yeah.
Yes. There will be. There will be merch. There'll be wrestlers will be wandering about during Comic Con Day anyway. So you can meet them, you can get a photo with them, like you can have a chat with them before they
Talk.
wrestle. So
You could talk Marvel or DC or nerdy stuff with them, like, because
exactly.
we're all nerds, like, so you can't be a
Right.
wrestling fan and not be a nerd. So,
Yeah.
Nah.
so it's we said June's going to be a quiet month. July's
Mhm.
going to be a busy month. We have OTT's Road to Scrappermania is the last show with
Always a great show.
Sanity, the trio of Sanity, Eric Young,
Mm.
Demo,
hmm
and Axel, all announced. They're taking on, am I right? Renzo, Sam, and Ilya, right?
There's no match
There's nothing being
announced.
announced.
It's not been a.
But those three are on the poster.
Mm,
So the presumption is there, but there's no official word yet.
Yeah. No matches are being announced yet for that. So people are just going by like what's on the
yeah,
poster.
hmm
And you wouldn't be wrong to assume that
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
probably gonna be the case. So but
Could also be BDE.
exactly.
yeah.
You know,
I'd
there,
like
there
it.
are,
That
Very
would be
much
cool.
there's a
change.
few different routes it could go down.
Hmm.
It could just be a random trio thrown together, but I think we've all been hoping for Sanity for a long time. I think when we got Eric Young and Axel over for that Limerick show, was it
Mm.
that last year or the year
Yeah,
before?
yeah. Last year.
I think the hope was that we'd get the three of them eventually, and then we had Damo over, and then it's like, okay, where are the other two? And yeah, I think it's been one of them that we've been hoping for a while, but yeah, it's great to see the three of them actually hit Irish shores. We have seen them recently in the UK together.
Mm.
Did they do a match in the US together as well around
Yes.
Mania?
Yeah. The
I think that was
Axel and
part of
Demo.
progress.
Yeah, they won the Progress tag titles.
Yeah,
So Axel actually holds the Atlas and the Progress tag titles.
yeah,
He's double
Mm.
champ.
it's a hell of a match as well.
Huge. Yeah.
But yeah, it's great to see the three guys getting over. It's going to be a hell of a show. Those Road 2 shows, although it's not called the Road to Scrappermania, it is the last stop on the Road to Scrappermania.
Mm.
It's usually where we get those last few announcements. It's usually a bit pop heavy. So anything that we're unsure of going into Scrapper or unsure of matches,
We'll
we're probably gonna get them there.
find out what's going on with the draw and be cool and who's going to be in the main event of Scrapper.
Be cool made a very, very plain that he's going to Scrappermania. So the only question is, will it be a one-on-one match? Is my thing. Will it stay one-on-one? Will we see Sammy worm his way in? Or yeah, I don't know. Some prick though. That was some hiding that they gave him as well, wasn't it? Like
Now,
fucking hell.
now you're talking about that. Now, I do kind of have to bring this up. It's like how nobody has sent that clip to BotchMania.
It was on it.
It was on it.
Was it on it?
I sent
Yeah.
it.
It was
I
on it,
haven't
yeah.
seen it. I didn't see
Yeah,
the
yeah,
link.
It was
So
on. Yeah, they put it up.
it's like I am the table. Yeah, like took
Yeah,
like 3 goals before like even bothered bending.
wicked.
So
Yeah, he
Wicked.
bounced off at the second time as well.
It's fucking
Fucking
horrible.
like at like it's good. It's grand to laugh about it now, but at
yeah,
the time,
no, at the time I was like,
Jesus,
oh
at the
shit.
time I was like, holy fuck! And then afterwards, I was like, the poor bastard.
Yeah.
It's like watching it. It's like watching clips out of you being frame, isn't it? Like
Yeah,
That was like watching Jackass or something.
hear, like you could see a clip like of that just playing over and over again with the fucking some stupid Benny Hill music in the background or something like. Jesus, poor guy, his poor neck, his poor back.
yep.
I would touch briefly RCW. We'll do a review show next week before it's due to come out. June 15th, RCW's next show. Billy Bedlam's birthday bash. There's a few matches announced for that. Jay is announced. We were talking about that earlier. That Jay was announced for the King of Irish Wrestling. Anybody know what's going on with Jay? Is he
He's not
out for a while?
much.
Is he
Yeah, he's not
done?
working that much. My presumption is that he's not going to be working that match. I don't know how much is out there. He's injured.
He hasn't
Um,
officially. I know he's wearing a sling, but has he actually come out and said
No.
what the issue is, or
no,
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 how long
they
it's
did
going to
say
be
at
out for?
They did say at OTT he was injured. There's nothing after coming out officially, but he is injured. He would be a bit crazy to actually wrestle with the injury. So my presumption would be that he might be involved in the match. He might be there. But I certainly can't see him wrestling.
As we speak, it was just officially announced by RCW there that Robbie X will defend, or sorry, Robbie X will be facing Andy Steele, Martin Steers, and Mark Haskins in a 4-way match for the X Division title, which is going to be a hell of a match.
Mm.
Kuro is also going to be in that King of Irish Wrestling match as well.
Glad to see him actually start like
Great
appearing a
talent.
bit more.
Yeah,
Great talent.
nice guy as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll do a proper preview of that next week before the show goes live. Colin, before we go, Hard Knocks, myself and Foxy weren't in attendance for Hard Luck. How did the night go and how was it?
Yeah, it was a really good show. Really hot crowd. The crowd was back and forth. I know the last day we were there was a Limerick Tipperary, I think it was, hurling match on. My apologies to the GAA fans of the country for not remembering that. I am not the biggest hurling fan, and I wouldn't keep up with the program unless it gets to All Ireland level. So
Glory Hunter.
I barely watch it. I just watch it just out of interest. I do not have any jerseys that I throw on, and I definitely don't switch counties like some other people that I know of.
There's
When
been fighting
when
words
when,
with
their,
people.
when their teams get to the final, they throw on a green and yellow jersey. But anyway,
Was it Kerry or Donegal reference?
it was a very very good show, very hot crowd. So the crowd was missing the last show, I think. Not that the crowd was missing, just a lot of our usual fans probably weren't there. Fans that probably bring the heat. So yeah, the crowd was really vocal this one. every match or most matches had a stake as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there was always something at play to kind of keep the interest there. There was no kind of cold matches, so we had three golden ticket matches going to the final. My presumption, I was told that they were semi-final matches. My presumption is that we're going triple threat in the main. So we had Nikki beating CJ West, Mercer beating Galaccini, and Thatcher beating Boots. So those three winners going into the golden ticket tournament final.
It was not like the last time where people just won tickets and then they had
No,
to.
no, there's no tickets handed out. So there's going to be one golden ticket winner at the end of it. So it is more tournament style,
Mm-hmm.
rather than winning tickets and then defending your tickets down to one. It is a tournament. Um. So yeah, my presumption is that that's going to be on the September 1st show as well. We're going to have the golden ticket tournament final. There was also a rumble. The point of the rumble, it was the Lucky 13 rumble. So each entrant was a number in a deck of cards. So the first one was the ace, then the two, all the way up to the
Mm-hmm.
king. And the winner had their opportunity to cash in on any title of their choosing. Um, we did, though, with it being hard luck, it wouldn't be hard luck without a bit of a curveball thrown in. As we know, there are a couple of jokers in the deck of cards, so we did get a joker. At the last entry, and it was a returning Scotty Davis, who we haven't seen since he had a championship match last November, I think it was. So yeah, he returned and he ended up getting the win. Eliminating Steve Savage last due to Sammy D getting involved and causing a distraction for Steve. Um, what else did we have? We had Social Elite against two imports coming in from Warriors of Wrestling, Danny Storm and Billy Flynn
Mm-hmm.
from New York, New Jersey area. Two guys were pretty good, really good, put up a good fight. Social Elite just fucking exceptional as usual. Like just like their tag team game is so good. I genuinely don't know another someone who's doing tag team wrestling as good as them at the moment. I really don't. Like they're doing old school tag team wrestling. They're cutting the ring in half, quick tags in and out. Some good team moves as well that like seems to be a lost art in tag teams. We have these team moves. Like we always remember that the Hardys having their team moves.
Mm-hmm.
And we're seeing that with the Social Elite, and I think they're really uh, uh, I think they're probably the best tag team in the country at the moment, and I
The
don't think anyone can kind of
the
challenge
the
them.
Maxer was over in Japan for a while, wasn't he?
Maxer was in Japan for
Years.
years.
Did he ever show up? Was he ever on any New Japan shows?
No,
Never. Did he
no.
wrestle for or what dojos was
He
it?
wrestled with 0-1.
All right.
So he
Just
spent he was almost exclusively like for 0-1.
Hmm.
He was there for a good few years, and he's a multi-time champion over there as
mhm.
well. I think both as tag and singles. So, like, let's not fucking doubt like how talented like Sean Maxwell Guinness is.
Mhm.
Like, he is championship caliber like
Oh
talent.
yeah.
Like, there's no question why he is like a what triple champion here in Ireland.
Hmm.
Like, he's
Yeah.
a double tag champ, and he's a singles heavyweight champ.
And like he
So,
was he was top of the mountain as well for a while when we were back in the NWA Ireland days.
mhm.
Um like he carried championships
Yeah.
around Europe. He held the old NLW championship, which then like went to
Mhm.
OTT, but back in the old NLW days, NWA Ireland time, like that belt was carried around
Hmm.
Yeah.
at the top of cards, defended in front of thousands in France and Germany and stuff,
Yep.
So like Sean has been like he's been there,
Mhm.
I'd love to see him get one more run. I think he's well capable of it. Like he looks phenomenal as well.
He hasn't
I've
aged.
no, it's mental, isn't it?
Like, it's crazy. Like, the whole time
Yeah,
I've known him, I'm like, what the hell? It's it's like, you look like you're still in like you're like you're just in your early 20s now.
Yeah,
Fucker is
it's
far from that. Like New
it's
Jack City is a
depressing.
long time ago.
It's depressing. Such a good guy as well, though. Such a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Onto the main event, we had Kane Noonan,
Mm.
who gave up his opportunity in the Golden Ticket tournament, to take on Sammy D, and Sam obviously getting the win. Um, but Jesus, Kane, that's the best I've ever seen Kane. Kane should be really proud of himself in that match. He really took the fight to Sammy. I think he surprised Sammy as well, a few times, but came close a couple of times. But geez, like Kane said beforehand, he's not the future, he's the now.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, I think I think he went down and he justified that, you know. Um, he's probably still a little bit naive, and a couple of little naivety bits kind of crept into the match, which probably cost him. But yeah, like it's only a matter of time for that fella. It
Yeah,
really is. He's just so naturally gifted.
Mhm.
So naturally gifted. Um. Anyway, after the match, we had Steve Savage come out just to fill people in and have a go at Sammy. Sam ended up fleeing. Steve said like that Sammy keeps ducking him. Sam said at
Mm.
the last show, Collision Course, that as long as he's champion, Steve Savage will not get a championship match, will not have an opportunity against him. Cut a skating promo on him as well, about how he retired and he came back, and um it's the Steve Savage show and he's been
Hmm.
relegated as the world champion. And but Steve came out and cut a skating promo on Sammy and says that although he might not be able to get his hands on him, you know someone who will. And the graphic popped up then for a returning LJ Cleary, a man who had won the World Championship and had to give it up because he got signed by Noah and had to go on to pastures new. But
So he
LJ,
never lost the
he
title.
never lost it. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's another like it's another chapter in that World
A,
Championship, that
a
Hard Knocks
ladder
World Championship.
match. A
Ladder
ladder
match, yeah.
match.
So 1st of September in Dolan's. We've talked about these two a fair bit, and
Hmm.
we've talked about how probably in 2022 and probably 2023, for the most part, when LJ was here, they have been the two best in the country. And we know that from our awards, they've come first and second 2 years in the bounce. Um, but how they have been kept apart for the most part, and we haven't
Mm.
seen that big world championship match. Like that match, in my opinion, is stadium worthy. And with the right build, could be electric. So, we did see a ladder match with the two guys the start of last year, I think it was, in NLW,
Mhm.
for the Nationwide Championship.
Which
Um,
was one of the matches of the year, right?
yeah, it was nominated as was one of the matches of the year. Yeah,
Mm.
so we are gonna get that again in Dolan's on September 1st. So yeah, I would highly recommend you get down
Yeah,
if for nothing else but to see this match, you know,
100%.
and the rest of the card is probably gonna be cracking as well as per
Yeah.
usual. But yeah, great show by Hard Knocks overall. The in-ring product is continuously at such a high standard. And the crowd that comes along is just electric. They're always there to have a good time. There's never any bother out of them as well, which I
Yeah, yeah.
commend all the fans that come to the shows. You are amazing. Keep coming, keep screaming, keep shouting, keep giving shit to the lads in the ring when you do. And keep bringing that energy because it's infectious. It really is.
Excellent. Before we go, Foxy, how is the part two of One Fall coming? Is it going to be called Two Fall or?
No, it's not gonna be called Two Fall. It's still gonna be One Fall. Um, as of last week, we have written issue two. It's almost in its final draft. Uh, Now is more the case of having the artist come in and put his spin on it, and that way we can edit and change things around and actually have our final draft and get hopefully have it out by before the end of summer.
Oh,
Hopefully.
really?
Amazing
Sweet.
news.
That's amazing.
Great.
Hopefully. Like,
Oh, brilliant.
if all thing goes ahead, like, yes, hopefully by the end of the summer, like,
Mhm.
we should have issue 2. And it creatively, it kind of got me like working on 3 already.
Yes.
Well, you have two Comic-Cons coming up in the
Yeah.
summer. So I'm presuming, and this is just me presuming, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm presuming that you're trying to aim to get them done before or in the Northern Ireland Comic-Con.
No, because I wouldn't have time to actually like sell them. Like
Okay.
it's not believe me, I've thought about this before. Like I tried doing something like this last year,
Mm-hmm.
and no, it's just not feasible in between because the time that we have in the intervals is not long enough to try and sell
Right.
a comic or other merchandise. So that's why it's very hard for people to actually like monetize themselves at Comic-Con unless their merch is at the merchandise table.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So,
Oh,
which mine is not. I
it's
have to do
probably
it the old-fashioned way.
Oh, yeah, Brian.
Yeah, but
Like Brian can
again,
literally just stand in the crowd like this. Like let's face it. Worst case scenario, they kick him out because he's not a vendor. But like fuck it, like it's
He
only Brian.
get famous and figure out why he was arrested, sell the comic book, and the comic book will go mad. People like
Yeah,
want to buy
yeah.
it.
although I did do that at Five Factory, I just held it up. I was going like, there you go, buy my comic.
Buy Fox's comic. This podcast is sponsored by One Fall. It's a comic book. One Fall by
Like,
Brian and Foxy. So go out and buy it, or get on to the lads when the next show you're at. If you're on to Fight Factory or the next OTT show or wherever you see Foxy, if you see him on the street, get it off and go and tell him you want it and get
Have
onto
stickers
it.
as well.
Get
Yeah,
Get your
stickers, yeah.
fucking stickers. Do you have
One
fucking
stuck.
stickers?
I've one stuck right here. I can't show it to you, but stuck right to my laptop.
I have one on my laptop as well.
comics, stickers, and yeah, like hopefully more down the line. But like, we need to get more people buying the comic book
Yes.
to fund to
Yeah.
said extra stuff that for to sell to people.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, hopefully by the end of summer we should have issue 2 ready to go. So that way you won't be waiting as long. We're trying to shorten the turnaround for between comics, but we also want to give them enough time that okay, people can buy them, have a time to digest what's going on, and also generate a little bit of interest where people are like, when's the next one coming out?
Yeah,
I
we
want to
want to
know.
find
Yeah,
out
I want
what's
to know.
happening.
Yeah,
What
I want to
what
know.
happens next?
I want to know.
Can't be like
It's-
Marvel or Lord of the Rings, where you have to wait a year or 2 years for the next fucking episode. Like,
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
don't want to do that where it's a
Yeah.
year between each issue.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
like that's a very long endeavor.
Listen,
We're trying to shorten it down a good bit. Like, so if we can do it, maybe like the aim is to try and get maybe 6 months in between each issue. Hopefully, um, that's providing things go well. But yeah, that's the aim anyway, to shorten the turnaround anyway. It's more just waiting on the artist. That's really the only thing that
Yeah.
holds us up. So, and I'd rather wait and have it be done properly than try to chuck it out there with subpar like stuff.
Yeah.
So
100%.
but yeah.
Colin, you were just at Progress, like the interviews now are up. All the interviews, last one went up today as we recorded with Lee McAteer. You interviewed Shelton Benjamin and Mike Santana, Ricky Knight Jr. How I'm not going to go through the car, just
Yeah.
how was their experience?
Yeah, listen, Progress smashed it out of the park. I went over not expecting a hell of a lot. I know there has been a lot of shit thrown at them recently, and a lot of people kind of shitting on the product a bit. So I was going over with really low expectations, and I did read a lot of the reviews from previous shows and stuff, and like this one just like they really knocked it out of the park, and it had a real good indie vibe to it. There was like some exceptional matches. And I spoke to Lee McAteer. It's in the interview, and he did say himself that like this is a new progress. They have taken note of some of the problems and some of the tasks that they had in front of them, and they've put some stuff in place behind the scenes that wasn't there previous. I'm not sure if he mentions it on the interview, but he did tell me that they've appointed a creative director and stuff. So, like yeah, onwards and upwards from here with them. If Super Strong Style was anything to go by, like they're they have a massive future ahead of them.
Yeah.
I know that like they were with the WWE, they had that partnership there. That then went once NXT UK kind of went, and um, they're they're trying to find their place again in the indie scene off the back of that, and I think it's probably after taking them a little while, but I firmly believe that Super Strong Style is the start of where they're going back to. Storytelling was at a peak, some of the best production I've seen in a while with some of their promo packages. The promo package before the World Championship on day one, like is like it's up there with the best that I've seen, to be quite honest. Like it's up there with Sean Ryan stuff that he was producing for Jordan and Walter, like a really, really impactful, really powerful, and makes you care a lot more about the match. Something that I think is lacking with a lot of promotions, that to find that like get the emotion to come out, you get the feeling to come out, why should I give a fuck, basically, and I think that they hit the nail on the head with that. So I'm really excited for what they do going forward. I'll be back there in August, as far as I know. Jerry and Liz are going to be there. I'm not sure if Foxy's going to be there yet.
Don't know yet.
We're all in.
But yeah, we're buzzing for. I'm buzzing for August already, really off the back of it, and getting to interview the lads that were there, like Shelton Benjamin and Mike Santana, it's just surreal. It really is surreal. Like I grew up watching like Shelton Benjamin come in with Charlie Haas and Team Angle, and it's just like it was so surreal to see someone that I've watched for years, idolized, loved what he's done, and then to be standing there beside him interviewing him was just, yeah, it was a real pinch me moment. But yeah, lovely guy, and I can only thank the Progress team, Lee, Martin, Mad Dog, everyone looked after me so well. Everyone's so nice and so respectful, and made me feel really at home. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to August now.
Yeah, sweet. Go check out those interviews. They're all on our YouTube channel right now. You can check out everything else, and you'll subscribe to the channel while you're there. Leave some comments and let us know what you think the future for LJ might be after Scrappermania, and we can only hope that we get him back, but we also hope that he's going to go on to bigger and better things, which is definitely literally going to happen. But as always, lads, support Irish wrestling. Go out to your local promotion. Go out and see everything live if you can, while you can. So we'll be back next week, hopefully, for an RCW preview. We'll be also doing a preview for Clash at the Castle for WWE, and some other interviews coming up in the very, very near future. We won't give them away yet, but there'll be some really big interviews very, very soon. So like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.